This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next hour, we've got some really interesting people to talk to. In about 30 minutes from now, we're going to speak with a 102-year-old doctor who's still practicing. She's still consulting, and she's got a great book, The Well-Lived Life. I can't wait to talk to her and find out her 6 secrets for a long life. During the first part of our show, we're going to take a look at some mental health issues and how art can help. Our guest is John Zaller. He's the executive producer of Exhibition Hub, a curator and distributor of world-renowned immersive exhibitions. John, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me on. Really looking forward to this.
I'm really curious. We're recording this in May of 2023, and this is Mental Health Month. Can
That's
art
right.
help people relax, not be depressed, maybe even more creative by looking at art?
So, there's a lot of studies that have come out about the connection between art and mental health and art and general well-being. And there are a lot of general studies. So I'm actually working on several really timely exhibitions that address these points directly. The one of the big ones is Van Gogh, the Immersive Experience. And in Van Gogh, the Immersive Experience, we're obviously dealing with the art of Vincent van Gogh, who was your typical struggling artist. He, during his lifetime, he was someone who had difficulty connecting with people. He isolated himself a lot. He had violent mood swings. He was prone to drinking a lot.
He was never successful in his lifetime, was he? I mean, financially?
No, during his life, he sold one painting.
Oh boy.
And he did trade a lot of paintings. He bartered a lot of paintings, which is also an interesting something we can talk about because people understood, I think, how good he was, but they didn't support him in how good he was because they saw an opportunity to take advantage of him because he was having such a difficult time as an individual. So this is another kind of underpinning to his story. But after his death, years and years, using his letters to his brother Theo, he was post-diagnosed with a series of potential disorders: bipolar mood disorder, borderline personality disorder, epilepsy, alcohol addiction, malnutrition, delirium, and depressive episodes. So, this is one of the artists that I'm kind of around every day because we have 15 of his exhibits traveling the United States. And it's helped me to frame a conversation around mental health that helps tell the story of if Van Gogh had had the treatments and the ability to be diagnosed that we have today, what would his life have been like? So it's a really interesting conversation to have.
He was young too when he passed, when he died.
He committed suicide at the age of 37.
Oh my.
So, and he only painted for 10 years. So picture what the output would have been in his life, his lifetime, had he lived to be 86, to the age of Monet, for example. What would he have done? Because his painting style was so revolutionary at the time. It was a whole other way of looking at the world. And part of that, some physicists and also psychologists believe that it came from his turbulent state of mind. That when he was at his most manic, he could actually tap into the natural phenomena of the universe, so that the physicists have studied his paintings and they've graphed the points of light, the distance between the points of light in his painting, and seen that it aligns perfectly with their physical models they've created.
It's funny because I was going to interrupt and say physicist. And now I understand. I mean, there's studies with physics right now going on where if the person conducting a physics experiment says, I want it to go right, just thinks it, it'll go right or left
Right.
or center. And they don't even have to be on site, they could be miles away. Fascinating stuff. Um, there's a word you used, and that's immersive. What do you mean by immersive?
So an immersive experience, it can be all kinds of things. I mean, I've been creating exhibitions and theme park attractions, from the museum to the retail space to the theme park space for over 20 years. And for me, an
You
immersive
didn't,
experience
I'm
is
sorry, you didn't do Mr. Lincoln at Disneyland then in the 50s.
no, no, I just missed that one, just
Yeah,
missed it.
yeah.
Um, but for me, an immersive experience is one that takes you out of your everyday environment. So from the minute you walk into a building, you're suddenly transported to another space. So, for example, when I did the Titanic exhibition that traveled around the world, the goal was to place you on the ship, and that was using physical elements. So, immersive is really this transportive, sometimes transcendent uh, interaction with an environment, with an exhibition style environment. But now immersive today has come to mean more surrounded by 360 projection mapping. And that's what the immersive experiences that we create today at Exhibition Hub are more focused on is these full 360 4K projections on 30-foot high walls, a lot of times with artists. So you step into their work, you're surrounded and enveloped in their work. And that's really how the popular culture today defines immersive, although we do define it a little further than that.
And does somebody at this at a immersive uh, exhibit, do they learn about the artist? For example, with Van Gogh, is there a discussion about his his mental disease?
Absolutely. So in the Van Gogh the Immersive Experience, there's a series of galleries prior to this big immersive 10,000 square foot immersive gallery where you learn all about the life of the artist. You learn about his uh, upbringing. You learn about his technique. And Van Gogh, again, who started painting at the age of 28, he was an itinerant preacher. He was an art dealer. He was a school teacher. He tried all kinds of things, but he was always drawing. So we tell his whole life story.
Uh, the his brother that you mentioned, Theo, didn't he capitalize on his artwork? I'm remembering world art history from um, 3 weeks ago. College, and it maybe a little bit more than that. So I guess my thought is, didn't Theo really catapult Van Gogh, his brother Vincent, to stardom afterwards?
So what Theo did was Theo really looked after his brother.
Oh,
Um, Vincent and Theo communicated with over 700 letters between them. Every painting that Vincent painted, almost every painting Theo bought. Theo kept these carefully categorized in his storage. And Theo actually died very shortly after Vincent's death, but it was Theo's wife and their son who launched the Van Gogh Foundation that is now today the Van Gogh Museum.
that's the immersive experience, Van Gogh, and it's in major cities. It's traveling. We're going to find out where in just a couple of moments. Our guest is John Zaller, and John and I will be back along with the insane Daryl Wayne as Late Night Health continues. Don't go away. More coming up. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment.
Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the Charge and Go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.
If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
It's time to tackle a tough topic, one that affects us all. We're talking about sexism in the workplace. The award-winning Identifying the Elephant in the Room series is back and ready to tackle some complicated communications issues again. This spring, we're focusing on critical communication strategies in the face of sexism. Join us as we hear from professionals in the natural products industry who have valuable career lessons to share and real-world experience to discuss from all sides of the elephant. It's time to have an honest and open conversation about the impact of sexism in the workplace and how we can make it better for everyone. Identifying the Elephant in the Room series starts March 16th. Register today at inicibox.vfairs.com. That's INICIBOX.VFAIRS.com and join the conversation to be part of the solution. Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne, and our guest is John Zaller. John, you've obviously you spent a lot of time with Vincent van Gogh, but just some of your other experiences include Star Trek. Let me see. I've got a whole list here. Star Trek, Jurassic Park. Bodies, is that the one where they're actual human bodies and they're kind of preserved and cut up?
It is. It's the actual human bodies dissected and on full display for you to see what you look like inside.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. It's all the others. I think I saw Star Trek. That was a number of years ago.
There was a number of years ago. It started actually at the Queen Mary Dome, and then it traveled all over the United States for several years, and had a permanent home also in Las Vegas for a long time, created by a friend of mine. Got it.
That's the one I remember. We're talking about the Vincent Van Gogh Immersive Experience. Studies have shown that by being in one of these immersive art exhibits, you can relax, your depression goes away, negative mood, anxiety, and even loneliness. Can you explain that or tell us about that?
Yes, so there have been some recent studies on the impact of digital art kind of on well-being and on state of mind. And those studies have shown that even looking at digital art, at art of any kind on your computer screen or on your phone, actually can reduce blood pressure, reduce feelings of anxiety, and help you to be more centered. Because when you think about our electronic devices, they're always full of all this stuff, notifications, emails, calendar reminders. But when you can cover that screen with artwork, it takes away all of those anxieties and pressures for a few moments, which does help put you in a better mood overall and better state of mind.
What about the digital art that people are making and then selling online? They're getting thousands of dollars for these things that look like a kindergarten, at least to me, who I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. And they're being they're getting thousands of dollars for these digital art things.
Well, so when you're talking about NFTs, for example,
Yes,
it's a whole emerging realm. And in some ways, it's similar to what we're doing in the sense that we're right at the beginning of this new phase of digital art and digital exploration. And so the question is, what's going to have that staying power? So what is art is often defined by public, by public response to that work. I mean, for a long time, it was defined by a few people saying this is art. But what we've seen is that art is all around us, and it really is in the eye of the beholder. So I think that's what's interesting about both the digital art realm we're in and the NFT realm is that it's more democratized. So we don't have a curator who says this is art. We might have a curator by a mob or a crowd that says this is the trend of art. And so that's going to be really interesting as we go on to see if these pieces do hold their value.
I was just in a couple of museums in Europe, and the artwork and the exhibits don't seem to me to have changed. I've seen photographs. I was in Florence. We saw the work of Michelangelo, for example.
Yeah.
And I've seen videos, and I had seen still photographs, of course, of David. And my thought is that this is your mom's kind of museum. It's you walk through it, you're timed, you got 20 minutes to look at David, and then you're out of it, right? Is this going to change? Do you think these old museums that have these 400 and 500-year-old or more pieces of art are going to become immersive?
I think that's going to be up to the individual museum. And I think that the museum will make their own call in terms of how that artwork needs to be received.
And what about the cities? I want to make sure that we get the cities. Where can we go now to see Van Gogh?
So we're presenting Van Gogh in numerous cities across the United States, plus around the world. So upstate New York and Schenectady, in Raleigh, North Carolina, in Atlanta, in Miami, New Orleans, Houston, Cincinnati.
Come on here to California. Come on.
Sacramento.
Okay.
We're just about to open it in Los Angeles, and then in Seattle.
Got it.
So a lot of options in the United States. Plus, we have presentations in Singapore, in Brussels, in Naples, in Milan, and in 3 locations in the UK.
I was just in Naples. I didn't see it. Oh man, I missed.
And in Naples, we're in an old cathedral. So it's even more magnificent because you have the beauty of the Italian architecture around you, as well as the works of Van Gogh displayed on the walls.
Amazing. Yeah, Naples was great. It's the home of pizza, and I didn't like the pizza there as much as I did in Florence. Go figure.
Who know? I haven't been to Naples in a long time, but there's a pizza place right in the center of town that it literally is the best pizza in the world.
I missed it. We ate a lot of pizza, and of course people teased me. My family teased me because I eat pizza with a knife and fork, at least at the start. Then I pick it up. In Italy, everybody eats pizza with a knife and fork, so I must be Italian.
There you go. You're a man of the people, man of the Italian people.
Exactly. Van Gogh obviously had a rough life. I mean, everybody knows the story about cutting off his ear. Committed suicide, as you said earlier. What can people today learn from Van Gogh's life?
So, as it's Mental Health Month, and, this is what we're talking about, and I've reflected on this quite a bit. He had all of these disorders or mental health issues that he was diagnosed with after he died. He was an outcast, more or less. He was hard to connect with because of these issues that he had. He did find incredible solace in art, and he created some of the most memorable and iconic works of art of all time. I would say, as an individual, the thing that was missing for him was any level of understanding of what mental health is or what a mental health crisis is. So if someone around him, for example, his brother Theo did really look out for him, but if others in his community had the tools to engage with him on this, he may have had a much more fulfilling life, lived a lot longer, and created a lot more artworks. And I think that's really the message for Mental Health Awareness Month is check in with yourself, check in with those that you care about and you love, those in your community, and make sure that people are in a good state. It's one thing to say, oh, I'm having a bad day, but when you see the trend of someone really declining or spiraling, try to get connected with them so that they can come back to a more level state of being.
If somebody's interested, is there a website that people can go to learn more about the exhibit?
Yes, vangoghexpo.com. And on there, all the cities around the world are listed. And you can select from your city and you can come and check out the show and be enveloped in this artwork. And if digital art eases the soul on a small screen, just picture what it does in 10,000 square feet on 30-foot high walls.
John, thank you very much. Look forward to your next exhibit, and we'll talk about it then. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Join us at latenighthelp.com. That's latenighthelp.com. More coming.